Irish guy and ha! Yeah, I know I sound like an unhinged clown, but still, lads, I was right. Play the clip.
Germany might tip to be this tournament's absolute mess. The huge bottle jobs, the embarrassing flops of the summer. I reckon they'll lose their first game 2-1 to Japan.
Now, I'm gonna ask you now, are you scared? Well, you should be, as if you're sitting in the front row of the cinema watching The Human Centipede with your mum. Lads, I got a World Cup prediction, completely correct and wholly 100% right. Me! The guy who's got all the logic and sense of a smashed up pumpkin. Someone whose football opinions once had him scrubbing his armpits in a bath filled with milk. Someone who supposedly has all the intelligence of a cow. Well, I mean, lads, now that I've got one right, what, is the world going to end? In 20 minutes, is the moon going to fall into the sea? Well, lads, remember our little deal? Sorry, getting flashbacks to my uncle when he used to offer me sweets. But listen, play the clip.
Japan are my dark horses. Everyone is sleeping on them this tournament. But trust me, Japan are the absolute dark horses of this tournament. They'll beat Germany and Costa Rica, lose to Spain, but trust me, they're going through. Then as soon as it happens, you have to flood the comments on every single football video on the internet with, the Irish guy was right. Alright, do we have a deal? And if Japan don't go through, then, yeah, pierce my ear.
Lads, I honestly can't believe it. Not even Paul the Octopus could have predicted this scoreline. To be fair, not really sure where he is now. I'm guessing fat businessmen in Portsmouth are eating his legs in a sandwich, right? To be fair, I have to say, I don't want to disrespect the dead, but this fella, he was an overrated squid. I mean, look at his record. Surely he predicted the outcome of the 2010 World Cup, but nobody likes to mention that he predicted Germany to win Euro 2008. Just completely ignoring the class of Spain. Honestly, this chunk of fish was turned into a celebrity, getting invited out to dinner with Britney Spears, getting free tickets to 5-star steak houses, when in reality, let's be honest, he had the brains of cottage cheese. I'll bet he didn't even know what he was predicting. He was probably just crawling into the corner of the box to take a poo. And I know what you're thinking.
Are you really jealous of a dead squid?
Well, yes. Because where's my respect today? Germany 1, Japan 2. I'd like to see the cast of Finding Nemo predict that. Lads, I think the oracle of the internet is me! How many of you thought that Germany would steamroller through the Japanese, casually beating them as if their players were made of toilet roll? I mean, most of you gave Japan about as much chance of progressing through the group as you would give Danny DeVito a chance of surviving 24 hours locked in a cage with an orangutan. Yeah, I mean, someone's getting their face ripped off and eaten for breakfast. Find me one other person that thought Japan would beat Germany today. I mean, come on, don't be scared. Proudly put your hand up in the air. Okay, actually, no, don't. Take your hand down. Christ, well, if you're watching this video on the bus, I'm guessing you've just successfully creeped out a bunch of old ladies who now think you're about to steal their purse. But Japan beating Germany, to me, this isn't even a shock. The media are reacting to this as if it's the end of a Hollyoaks finale, or as if they just found Will Ferrell French kissing a pig on a plane. To me, this isn't even surprising. I look at this Japan team, an exciting, free-flowing, forward-thinking side with defensive steel at the back, Maya Yoshida aside, and I honestly think that they are this tournament's dark horses. Now, here's the bad news. Japan usually flattered to deceive at World Cups. I mean, sure, they have spectacular moments at every tournament, but they usually then splutter and fail under the pressure. I mean, like in 2002, when they qualified top of their group with 7 points, and then they lose to Turkey in the round of 16. Or in 2010, when they beat Cameroon and Denmark, Kazuki Honda emerged as an early star of the tournament, linked with every elite club in the world, and then they lose on penalties to Paraguay. Honestly, that was probably so anticlimactic. I'm guessing there were fans in Tokyo and Yokohama watching that game, and immediately felt like throwing sushi at their cat. I mean, to be fair, Honda eventually earned a move to AC Milan, but I mean, that was when Milan were signing Fabio Barini. So, it's not as special. But let's be honest, Honda's summer hype in 2010 was off the charts. Honestly, go down any pub that summer, and once you drowned out the horrible Bruno Mars noise on the radio, then, you would have listened out for 3 different groups in that pub. Firstly, there were just teenage nerds complaining about the finale of Lost. Then there'd have been a bunch of old creepy men in the corner drooling over photos of Katy Perry. And then thirdly, desperate Manchester United fans begging Sir Alex Ferguson to make a bid. Nobody did, and he was left to rot in Russia for an extra 3 years, and Shinji Kagawa was signed instead. Again, somewhat about as exciting as a burger filled with pubic hair. Speaking of which, that fella is still only 33. I mean, the fact he hasn't made the World Cup squad, and instead is playing in Belgium. What happened, Shinji? While Honda has since been appointed the manager of Cambodia, and lads, in their attempts to qualify for this World Cup, I mean, they played Iran twice and lost by an aggregate score of 24 goals to 0, all while their part-time coach was still playing in the leagues of Azerbaijan and Lithuania. I think it's fair to say that poor old Honda's promise and potential is now lying face down in a puddle of diarrhea. But my point is that Japan always have a big moment and then never capitalize. I mean, they began the 2018 World Cup with a brilliant 2-1 win over Colombia, and they squeaked out of the group, only to then blow a 2-goal lead over Belgium in the last 16. But I think this is different. They've beaten Germany. Go and beat Costa Rica, and you virtually qualified. And then you won't have to write under every football video that
the Irish guy was right.
Ozzy, we're about to annoy every football YouTuber on the planet. I'm guessing the likes of Alfie and Thogden are gonna be so fed up, they're probably gonna want to phone the police. But lads, this Japanese team, it excites me. And I'm gonna say this. These are my dark horses. I don't think this run ends in the last 16. I mean, remember how South Korea reached the semi-finals in 2002, flying the flag for the entirety of Asia? Or what about in 2010 when Ghana so very nearly became the first African team to reach the semi-final? I reckon Japan are a similar unknown quality who are about to shock the world. And not in a deadly way. This Japan team have a hunger, a spark, and lads, they didn't even start the game with Takuma Minamino, instead preferring 29-year-old Junya Ito, who recently signed for Reims in France. And to be fair, yeah, he looks like someone who failed an audition to join the Asian One Direction, but he looked pretty special against Germany. And lads, Arsenal fans, they must now feel like chewing on their own chest hair because they were watching Takuma Asano light up the World Cup. Yeah, remember him? Your reserve star who was never given a single match or a work permit? Arsenal fans have probably forgotten all about this guy. So watching him now play half an hour in a famous World Cup win over Germany, I mean, this must be like bumping into an old schoolmate you haven't thought of in years. You know, the unintelligent dullard who used to sit at the back of maths class just spitting in his pencil case and stealing yogurts from the teacher's handbag. Yeah, it's like finding out that nowadays he's made millions off the internet. I'm not calling Asano a world superstar or anything, but this is definitely a glow up. And speaking of Arsenal Wonder Kids though, poor old Rio Miyachi. You might remember him from being, what, the fastest player in the world on, what, FIFA 11? The fact that he's been forced to watch Asano light up the World Cup while he's rotting on a beanbag in Japan, having gone from potentially being the next Teo Walcott to now, what, the Japanese Charles Nzogbiya? And no mate, that's not a compliment. Oh, he must be gutted. And Yoshinari Muto. Yeah, he sounds like a type of old school Pokemon, but I mean, this is someone that Newcastle paid £10 million for, and yet the Japan coach would probably sooner staple a dead meerkat to his ear than pick up the phone and bring up this wet pancake of a centre forward. So remember this now, lads. I am predicting Japan to have a monster of a tournament, and no, not in a Godzilla way. No, it's just a stereotype. This isn't true Geordie in the house. And so yes, the manager, Hajime Moriyasu, is going to be the breakout coach of the year. But as for Germany, oh dear. Can this be the summer where we finally delete Kai Havertz from our brain? Can we now accept that this man's Bayer Leverkusen height was all too much and that actually, as I centre forward, or some variation of a false nine? I mean, honestly lads, if I was the opposing centre back and saw his name on the team sheet, I'd probably start cackling like a banshee watching Mr. Bean. I mean, he's not intimidating at all. I mean, how can he be? He looks like he's got the muscle strength of a tin of baked beans. He doesn't score goals. He doesn't really do anything. Like football's answer to Gemma Collins. To be fair, I feel sorry for Hansi Flick. I mean, you don't have a goal machine. I mean, 20-year-old Karim Adeyemi, he was supposed to be the guy, and I mean, like Erling Haaland, he also ripped Austrian football apart in his teens, netting 23 goals last season for Red Bull Salzburg. I mean, the signs look great, but I mean, I get it. You can't be seen to start someone up front for Germany in a World Cup match when they've still yet to score a single Bundesliga goal for Borussia Dortmund. Honestly, this Bayern reject, so far, this season, his stock has plummeted so far to the point where now, he probably doesn't even interest West Ham. If I was Flick, Leroy Sané should have started on the wing, push Jamal Musiala into a number 10 role, and put Gnabry on the other wing, and then have Thomas Muller as your centre forward. Going forward, it should have been nothing but Bayern Munich. I mean, there's nobody to understand how dangerous Muller is at World Cups. He's only 2 goals behind Pele. This is his competition. But honestly, imagine the absolute German arrogance. If Muller scores 4 or 5 goals in this tournament, it will mean that 3 of the top 5 World Cup goal scorers of all time will be from Germany. And weirdly, 2 of them have the same name. Honestly, looking through the list, there's so many mentions of Muller, it'd be like looking into the back of an ice cream van. Although, actually, don't go into the back of an ice cream. Whatever you do not get into one. Christ above, you'll be in there for 2 weeks. Sorry, again, a little traumatic flashback to my childhood, but just don't go in! Honestly, the clippos aren't worth the therapist's bills. Lads, as soon as Japan were allowed to take the lead, Flick had no answers. Honestly, this wasn't like watching Flick, the Champions League winner. It was like watching Flick off a bug's life. Just nervously weaseling his way through the match without a clue of what to do. Christ, well, he brought on Werder Bremen forward Nicholas Füllkrug to save the day. Füllkrug sounds like some type of Batman you might buy at Wix. And lads, as soon as I saw Mario Götze enter the fray, it was confirmed to me that Germany don't have a plan. They were just blatantly reaching into the past. Sure, he was a golden boy in 2014, but I mean, he's since played for PSV Eindhoven. I mean, he's 30 years old at Eintracht Frankfurt, and they recently had to reject offers from the MLS. Honestly, Germany picking Mario Götze is like Italy if they chose to pick Mario Balotelli. leave the Marios in the past. I mean, this is a guy who scored in the World Cup final. I just know he's probably spent the last 7 years knocking back champagne and using that as an opening line on Tinder. I mean, come on, you just know he's the German Takuma Asano. And other ladies, man, they probably used to regularly turn up to training sticking of burnt chicken nuggets and wine. Lads, Germany have nothing going for them, and honestly, chucking raw children like Yusufa Mukoko onto the pitch in the last minute. Sure, a promising young talent from Borussia Dortmund, but come on, he's not gonna save the day. Trusting him for a practical German coach, surely it's a bit naive. I feel like wanting to get a selfie with Santa Claus. I don't know, it's all just a bit... No, this is an average German squad. I'm sorry, but it is. Name me one, just one, world-class player in this squad. I'll try. Manuel Neuer, Antonio Rudiger, Joshua Kimmich, and that's it. I mean, surely likes like Gnabry, Sané, and Musiala all fall into the realm of top class category, but world class, just 3. I mean, to be fair, Japan have none, but as a team, they are better. The spirit, the will to win, the drive to dig in for each other and do their country proud. I mean, right now, I'm guessing Naomi Osaka is dancing around the living room. Okay, I know, I really wanted to pick a better example than just some obscure female tennis player, but I don't really know any Japanese celebrities. I mean, I guess John Lennon's wife, but I mean, she's 89 years old. I'm guessing if she was dancing around her kitchen, she'll have probably broken her hip. I'm gonna have to check Wikipedia. I hope she's not dead, or that is gonna look about as tasteless as my mother's roast beef. What, Mom, you cooking in the sink? But yeah, I'm sorry, I just needed to come on and gloat. Just allow me this moment to gloat. I was right about Japan. I backed them, and they paid off. Give me the exact scoreline that I wanted. I said Japan would win 2-1, and they went and did that. Honestly, Japan, you are my team for the rest of the tournament. I am chaining you to my heart. I am here for Japan. I am backing you to do big things. And I'm gonna tip them for a semi-final appearance. Honestly, absolute legends. Come on, Japan, you absolute heroes. Oh, honestly, lads, after that, I'm delighted. Get in. Anyway, next video, let me know what do you think? What do you make of Germany's big loss to Japan? Let me know in the comments below. Enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, I'll talk to you in a while.